guys, what's going on? So we're going to do business insurance 101. So we're going to kind of go over your basic coverages of business insurance, what exactly it covers, maybe a little bit about costs, different stuff like that. We're going to go over all of it. So let's get started. So your basic coverages for business insurance are your liability, which means it covers third-party liability claims. So somebody sues you, or somebody falls, say somebody falls on your driveway, your porch, whatever it may be, at your office, and they sue you. The liability is what covers the cost of that. Protects you from lawsuits. So that's what liability. We could write it here to the side. Protects from lawsuits. So that's kind of liability. Property coverage is obviously pretty self-explanatory. It covers your business personal property, your computers, your coffee maker, your microwave, your fridge, if you have it, whatever it is, your property, stuff that you own, the building. If you own the building, it covers that. So that's what property coverage covers. It's pretty self-explanatory. It'll be subject to a deductible if there's a claim. You'll have a wind and hail deductible, and you'll have an all other perils deductible. So the wind and hail is exactly what it says. Storm comes through, that would fall under wind and hail. A fire, theft, a tree falls on it, stuff like that would be all other perils. A tree could be listed under wind and hail as well, but you get the premise of it. Basically, if it's not wind and hail, if it's not from a storm or anything like that, it's going to be under all other perils. And there are different exclusions under property coverage, so you'll need to check your policy for that. But property coverages just covers your business personal property, what you own, the physical property of business. All right. And business auto, it covers your automobiles for your business. So I'm an insurance agent. We own an insurance agency. We don't have a business auto policy because we have no business autos. Our producers, they drive their own vehicles, and they're 1099 employees, most of them. And they pay their own way, and then they tax deducted at the end of the year. And so they're basically their own boss. So we don't have business auto. But let's say you're an HVAC contractor or a plumber. And so you have the general liability coverage, you have the property coverage, and you even have inland marine, which covers your tools and stuff like that. But you don't have a business auto policy. And so this is for any vehicle used for business is what that is. So if you have a truck that you also drive personally, but you use it for your business and you're a plumber or you're an HVAC contractor, it needs to be listed under a business insurance policy. So let's use this for as an example. You hit somebody on a job, on the way to a job, and your insurance company finds out that you were working. And let's just say you have travelers for a personal policy, and it's just supposed to be for a personal auto policy, no business coverage. And they find out that you have a wreck on the way to a job, and you're using this truck vehicle mainly for business. They can deny the claim because they didn't know that there was business coverage. Usually a business auto policy is more expensive, but it protects you. It protects your business. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how much it costs, really. You're protecting your livelihood, what you do to support your family, what puts food on the table. This stuff here is to protect that. You hit somebody, you take somebody out, and they sue you, and you have a personal auto policy, and let's say that your company denies it because it's a personal policy, not a business policy. You're out a lot of money, and all of a sudden your business is on the line just like that. And so business auto is a very important insurance policy if you use your autos for your business. So workers' comp is for if you have employees. It covers disease for your employees. It covers the disease. If they fall on a ladder, let's say 4 employees. Injuries is basically what workers' comp is for. And so what this does, pays for their lost wages due to their injury. That is essentially what workers' comp is. It pays, so you have let's say you're an HVAC contractor. We write a lot of those. You have an employee falls off a ladder. He breaks both of his legs and he's out for 8 weeks, 10 weeks. And he's not able to come back to work. He's not able to make any money because he can't walk. That's what workers' comp is for. In the state of Oklahoma, you have some sort of obligation, if you have a certain amount of employees, to provide workers' comp for them. So it provides peace of mind for your employees. It's a good coverage to have. There's a lot of things that can happen as far as lawsuits go if you don't have workers' comp for your business and you have employees. And this is just basic business insurance, so we're not going to get into all of that. But these are the base coverages of a business insurance policy and what a BOP, a business owner's policy, will look like. You have your liability, your property, your business auto, and your workers' comp. And this is what they cover. Liability protects from lawsuits. Property protects the physical property of the business. Something's tangible you can hold, a computer, a tool, whatever it may be. Business auto for your vehicles that you have, and for the people that are driving them, and to protect you from lawsuits in case of a vehicle accident. This liability does not protect the same way as a business auto liability does. That's important. These are not the same. Not the same. Business auto liability and regular liability, general liability insurance are not the same. This covers you if you're in transit to a job, you're hauling tools to a job, you have an employee driving to pick up some tools, whatever it may be. That's what this is for. That's the liability it covers. This general liability will not cover that. It will not. So that's important to keep in mind. These are not the same. They don't cover the same. They're for totally different purposes. And we're going to do videos breaking down general liability, property coverage, business auto, workers' comp, inland marine, all those separate videos. But this is just an overview of what business auto covers. So that's essentially your package of business auto. Let me erase all this for you so we can get a fresh slate here, because there are a few other things I want to go over before we move on to the next video. So how does business insurance work? We've kind of went over it a little bit. Business insurance is to protect your business. It's not necessarily to protect you. It essentially does, but it's to protect your business, to protect the way you make your money, to protect your money that's in your bank account from your business. It protects your business. It is a shell, an umbrella to go over your business to make sure that you do not go bankrupt in case of an accident. That's what business insurance does. And so I get this all the time. We write a lot of business insurance. We write a lot for plumbers. We write a lot for contractors, HVAC contractors, manufacturers, and transportation. That's kind of what we specialize in. And I get this almost every time I talk to somebody, and it's a legitimate question, and it's understandable. So it's how much does business insurance cost? And so I can have two HVAC companies that have the same number of employees, have the same number of payroll, have everything just about the same, but there will be a vast difference in their premium. And you may say, well, that's not fair. So how is your premium determined? How is my premium determined? So to start with, we're going to use just a general contractor, artisan contractor, a plumber, HVAC company to start with. So number one, it will be based on what you do. So plumber, HVAC, etc. So whatever you do, that's going to be the main thing that your insurance is based off of. There are class codes that professions are broken down into for the insurance world, and they're rated based off of that class code. So what you do is the number one thing. Next will be how much of it you do. How much of it you do. So basically your gross sales, how much work you do every year, how much money you make every year. So if you're an HVAC contractor, how many jobs you do, how much sales you do every year. It's based off of that. Some Some of them are based off payroll. Some off payroll. Not all of them. HVAC contractors are based off payroll a lot. Plumbers are based off payroll. Transportation will be based off sales. Manufacturing is based off sales. And so it just depends on what you do, on how this is broken down, on if it's going to be gross sales or payroll. And this is how your premium is determined. Losses, number of losses. Amount of losses, and credit. Now, when you get an insurance quote, your credit doesn't get pulled necessarily, but you have what is called an insurance score. And so what that insurance score is, how long you've been with the company. I don't have enough room here really for it, so you just have to watch to find this out. So insurance score is how long you've been with the company, if you've had late payments to that company, if you've ever let your insurance lapse, and there's a few other things, but those are the main three. How long you've been with that company, if you've had any lapses in coverage, non-payment, if you had late payments, and then claims. It's based off claims, amount of claims, loss numbers, all that stuff is in your insurance score. And so this is how your premium is based. And so this HVAC company over here that has basically the same numbers as this one here, this one pays $3,000 more a year. And the reason is because he has 4 claims. He doesn't have very good credit. A few other things that can go into that. But so just because your friend that has the same size company as you pays a certain premium amount does not mean that you'll pay the same amount as him. Hardly ever will you see that. Now, if they're the same and the claims are the same and their credit's the same, then yeah, they're probably going to be about the same rate. But very rarely does that happen. And so I get that question a lot. How much is this going to cost me? And off the top of my head, I have no answer for you. I have to run it to company. They have to submit it. I have to submit it to underwriter, and they have to do all their number plugging in and all that stuff, and then I get a quote back, and I'm able to tell you a number. But I can give you a rough estimate on how high it's going to be, or if it's going to be normal, based on your number of claims, the payroll that you have, and which HVAC companies and plumbing we kind of have down to an art. It's just something that we know inside and out. And so if you're a company and you have clean losses and you have maybe 2 employees and your payroll's, $100,000. You may pay maybe about $1,500 a year, something like that. And so plumbing and HVAC we have down to a pretty good art. And that $1,500 is just for general liability, by the way. That's not for business auto and all that stuff. But this kind of gives you an idea of how your premium is broken down and how it's determined for your business. Let's look here. We'll move on. I got some notes here that I'm going off of. So, so cool thing that you may not have known, business insurance is tax deductible. Only if you have to have it to run your business. So if you're an HVAC guy, or you're a plumber, or even a manufacturer, or a transportation person, your insurance is tax deductible. Now, I'm not a CPA, so I can't tell you how to write it and how to do all that, but all I do know is that it's tax deductible. And that's just something that we've learned over the years. So business insurance is tax deductible, but only if you have to have it. You have to have it to operate. That's the only way it's tax deductible. We're just about finished up here. So what business insurance do I recommend? What I recommend. At a minimum, general liability, in some professions, I recommend errors and omission, and that's E&O for some. So if you're a realtor or if you're a mortgage lender, I recommend E&O. If you are a artisan contractor, most of it's going to fall under general liability, not E&O. It's the way it's broken down. Contractors are wrote different than financial people will be. But E&O is mostly for financial stuff, if you want to put it in that category. So I recommend at a minimum general liability. Now, if you have an automobile that you use for your job every day, I recommend business auto. If you have employees, I recommend workers' comp. I recommend inland marine if you have tools. That's for tools, basically. Tools. And I recommend lost wages, which a lot of time that will be under general liability. But say that your building gets blown away in a storm, you need to have something to cushion you until you get your building back and your tools back to be able to work again. And so sometimes that'll fall under general liability. Sometimes it will fall under business property. If you have a building, obviously property insurance. That's a given. Obviously, you want to protect your building, your assets, all that jazz. That can get expensive very quickly. So that's my recommendations. If you own a business, you have vehicles, you have employees, and you have a building. Now, if it's just you, you don't really need a whole lot of stuff. If it's just you, you need general liability, and you need an inland marine, and you need business auto if you use your auto every day. That's all you need. If you're just by yourself, and you're an HVAC contractor, you use your truck every day to go to jobs, you need business auto, you need general liability, and you need inland marine for your tools. That's basically it. So that kind of gets us covered on what business insurance is, what it's for, what it covers, how much it costs. And this is just a basic overview. We'll dive into general liability. We'll dive into inland marine. We'll dive into workers' comp and business auto, all those later on in separate videos for each one. And we'll make a series of it probably. But thanks for watching, guys. I know these are kind of long, but they're very informative. We try to just break it down for you so you know exactly what you're getting into when you're buying it, business insurance. We want you to know exactly why you need what you need. And that's what we're here for. And so to make sure that you are protected properly. I understand premium is important, but you being protected of what brings food to your family every night, and you don't have to worry about a lawsuit or something taking you out of business. That's what's important to me. And I've seen stories of people that have just thought insurance was a scam, and a lot of people do. And sometimes you get a bad agent, and that happens, and I understand that completely. And I don't like paying for my insurance, but I know I have to have it. And so this protects your business. This protects your money. This protects your house. All that stuff that you worked so hard for. That's what this is for, and that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because it protects everything that you've worked so hard to build. It protects it from crumbling at the snap of a finger. So again, thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.